We're going live. I don't have a cat. There's no cat here. Hey, good morning. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. It's about 7:34. Sorry, it's like 2 hours later than the 5 o'clock hour. However, last night I was up till midnight trying to watch the rocket launch, which didn't happen. So there you are. Anyway, I am Greg. Good morning. This is the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. I am Greg Mester, Scrum Master and Agile Coach, and here we talk about Agile and Scrum in a practical and tactical way. Little twist throughout every day, every episode. This is our 431st episode. Try to do it out every day. Sometimes it doesn't happen. There's been a few. One I went on vacation, one I didn't have connections, and just some days it just didn't happen, but very few. I think there was like 4, maybe. Anyway, why do we do this show? We do the show to help bring value to the customer, get you home to your family and friends so you can have some fun on the weekends and at night and in side gigs or what other things that spark your mind and get you all excited about life, right? And also excited by the job, because if we're doing stuff that's not fun at the job, we're not going to be excited. And getting the excited juices get us to produce some amazing stuff out there for our customers. And how come up with ideas not to be there 60, 80 hours a week trying to address dumb things. We're going to talk about some things and some warning signs of being caught up in doing some dumb things that are going to hurt you and make you work 60, 80 hours a week later on because we went down such a certain paths. And then we want to have some fun, right? So last night I was up to about midnight, a little later midnight, waiting for the ULA launch of their rocket. And the thing stopped 7 seconds before it launched. I mean, really, I thought it was going to catch on fire. There was fire at the bottom of the thing and everything. And, I was like, oh, boy. In the meantime, I was experimenting with telescope. We have a hiking telescope, trying to figure out how it works and all. And I found that they had an old adapter you put your cell phone in and try to take some pictures through the telescope with my cell phone. It was fun. I will say, though, looking at the moon with your telescope and not having a camera interface and not having that interface, it's so much clearer with your eye than it is with the camera. The camera does adjust things and tries to computerize stuff, but when it's just glass on glass on glass, it's pure, right? There's no computer, digital, electronic kind of things in it. It looks so much clearer. But here in Philadelphia, it was a clear night, and I'm like, I want to try it out. So it was pretty cool. I had fun. So this is the kind of things you just do sometimes. You get the opportunities and take advantage of them. Maybe we'll be prepared next time we go camping and we take that with us so we can see some stuff. Now I learned how it works. So you could say it was a spike. To learn the unknown, at risk I did not know. Anyway, okay, so what are the 2 topics I'm going to talk about, Greg? So I want to talk about 2 things. I'm going to talk about code reviews and letting the teams determine what they want and reason. And I'm going to talk about code reviews for a little bit because it is part of the development cycle. And I also want to talk about audits, right? So this is the 2 kind of things I want to talk. Give the teams, let it stir, let it stir around a little bit. And I went to a meetup the other day, and Tobias was on there. He's one of my connections. And he talked about Scrum As Alchemy. What is Scrum? And I was thinking of it a different way than other people per se. But like one person said, like the alchemy in the back in the days, they take a piece of lead, bury it in the dirt, and see what would come up, and let the dirt do its thing, and then see if it turned into gold, right? So, and a lot of times there's other things we want to put out. But mine was, they talked about letting stuff. So as a magician or alchemist, you put things in a pot and let it stir and see what came out. You didn't put your hand in the pot. You didn't do anything in the pot. You just let it go and do it. And I was thinking the same way with teams. We need to let the teams figure their path and let them figure the best path. And that's going to go into both the code review and the audit discussion today. So some of it came out of that discussion. I had written it down beforehand, and when we talked about it, here's a little topic linked to my topic. So code reviews. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I always think, code reviews are good. And I usually have tasks in my stories, get my teams, hey, write the task down for code review so we can track it and just make sure it gets done. And that's the big thing, because a lot of people don't want to wants to read other people's code. They just want to write their own code. They don't want to bother reading someone else's code. It's just a simple fact. So sometimes you need a little forcing factor. Hey, someone needs to read code. One of our tasks is one of the great things we agreed to. And we got to do that. So you got to allow the teams to determine what you want within reason, right? It's not a cookie cutter approach. I have some people that say, we need to tell them exactly how to do code reviews. Oh, well, that's not good. Someone just put a bad comment and just I'll just get rid of it. And I'll block you later. Anyway, so one of the things that we do with the code reviews is think about this way. Here's an extreme. We're just not going to do code reviews. So that's a team. And this is why I say, but let the team do things within reason. And one of the things is not doing code reviews at all. So if you're a team and there's no code reviews, it's not really going to happen, right? So that's the extreme of allowing them to do Wild Wild West. The other extreme is dictate how you're going to do your code reviews, what the procedure is, what are the details in the code, what should be in the code, how are you going to evaluate the code. So write a big coding standard, per se, across the corporation. And one of my fears when I hear people say that is that's going to take 1 to 2 years for a whole organization to come up with some coding standard. What do you do for the next 1 or 2 years while you're skimming around trying to figure out a coding standard? I love those people that come in like that. I'm like, we might not be here 1 to 2 years. I didn't know first product's going to go off the ground. Half this crew, they're only 1-year contracts. I mean, well, okay, we'll get there, right? So there's those two extremes. Right. And then there's the one I like to talk about encourage is just like we do a team norm. What should go in our code reviews? What is the agreement among the team itself, individual team, what goes in code review? Now, as an enterprise coach, I might help set up across enterprise. Here's some rules. Like rule 1, you can't review your own code. Pretty simple. You'd be amazed. Why did a code review? Well, I reviewed my own code. Well, no, you can't do that because there's a lot of things in the details, and maybe I'll do a show on some of the things to look for in a code review and how to do that. So it can't be you. You must have one. So those are my 2 basic rules, and then my third thing is how you do it. I don't care. So you could do it as a pair. You could do it as a group. I don't care as long as you do it. So I really only have 2 rules when I do when I'm an enterprise coach and I'm saying, hey, do code reviews. 1, it can't be you, and 2, you have to have them. What goes into it is up to you. Teams, what I hope will happen is that teams will work together as a group, and this is where they're stirring the pot. They'll figure out what the best way of doing a code review. Is it a one-on-one thing? Is it a group thing? Depending on how the people, maybe they're all brand new people. Maybe they need to do a group thing for a couple of times so everybody can see how everybody's code is, right? One of the benefits of doing a code review with other people is that make sure other people can read your code. What if there's a bug? Someone needs to go and fix it. You're on vacation. Who's going to fix the code if no one can understand what the hell you just typed or just set up in your code? It's not going to happen, right? So that's one of the things that you have to watch out for, right? So here's my experiment. So my Agile experiment, and like I said, I got the loose set of rules. Let them figure it out, manage it and everything like that. So that's just the idea. So mine is very loose. Let the team stir on it. Cool. just let them do it. Like the alchemy, right? Let them come up with the answer. I don't know what the answer. Just put the stuff in play and give them some boundaries and say, hey, here's how you do it. Okay. I got a comment from Aline. Group thing is a better way because you get new information and tips and tricks. That is true. There's some plus and minus of it. Some things you need a group thing. Maybe some new stuff, get some group stuff. Maybe it's a mix. But here's my thing. I let the team figure out what's the best way. And I've seen them do group. I've seen them do individual. I've seen the same group do both. It depends, right? I do like the sharing of ideas. So Eileen Z, I do agree with you. Okay, so the last topic, audits, because we're at the 10:40 mark and we want to be within a daily scrum, which is in 15 minutes. Watch out. Okay, I've been to many companies, and you have to watch out for audits and creating your own nightmares while you're going to be in the office for 60, 80 hours a week. So, operational documentation. People think they're really being helpful by creating these massive descriptions, 50, 60-page operations on how to do stuff. I like giving up ideas and thoughts and only a certain amount of rules to follow as a group, just rules of thumb, and advice and stuff like that when I do my stuff. There's certain things that are required, like maybe there's a flow because it's a computer program. That flow of how the work goes. All that stuff is susceptible to audit. So as you make more details in what you want to do, like we talked about doing the standard, here's a standard. The auditor can use that document and say, okay, you got a standard. Well, how do you audit all your teams that they're following the standard you just wrote? So there's a little balance there. So when you do write these documents, you want to be careful. I got a couple things to be mindful of when you write documentation and operational documentation. So here's what I got. Ask, is it critical? Is it critical we document this operation or what we do? If it's not critical, maybe you don't write it, don't write it down, but it doesn't really need it. I mean, if it's critical, yes, like if it's going to save a life, then it's a critical operation. You should audit to it because it's very important to your company. Is it a nice to have? Oh, it'd be really nice to have if we tell everybody exactly how to hit the L key or the K and how to use one finger or type. Use my fingers to type. Maybe it'd be really nice to tell them. I mean, it's overkill, right? It's not that critical. Is there a productivity impact? If we are writing an operation, will it have a productivity impact by adding the extra layer of documentation? Does it help productivity or take away from productivity? And these are the kind of things you got to watch out for. And then is it, of course, if it's a legal need, if it's a government thing or a legal issue or something like that, then you want to put it in your procedures, and because the legal group wants to be able to audit that you're following that thing, like keeping social security numbers hidden in your databases. Of course, that's going to be an audit thing because that's a legal thing, right? Because you don't want to be susceptible to lawsuits because you just put someone's social security number out there and you're open to the world information. And then the last thing you got to ask yourself as you're writing these procedures down, is it measurable? If you're telling somebody how to do something, okay, and because you're going to tell them, I want you to do this. Well, here's the question. I want you to do code reviews, okay? I want you to do code reviews. So now the auditor comes in and says, okay, you told all the teams you want them to do code reviews. How do you measure that they're doing code reviews? So that's thing. If you're going to tell them you want this process and you want this done this way, how are you going to measure to see how well your teams follow the process? Because that's what auditors do. They want to know, how do you know that your teams are following your instructions? Because I'll be honest with you, and everybody knows, you make a book, like you use Superbook, even this like calendar, read the whole thing. It doesn't happen, right? So they want their job, right? And I'm not saying auditors are all bad, but I am saying that they create work, and the way they get paid is they find things, right? So you want to prevent that. So those are the two things. Doing a code reviews like suggested by Eileen, I think it is, Ayleen, was do a group code review You can do it individual. I'm just saying have one and let the team use the alchemy of the process to determine how they want to do their code reviews. And then documentation. Watch out when you over document stuff and document the heck out of stuff that you don't set yourself for major audit failure, because the auditors are going to take those documents and audit you against your documentation. It's what they do. That's how auditors work. So those are the 2 things I have for today. Hey, there's a rocket launch at 9 o'clock. Gonna try to watch it. Hopefully it goes off. I will talk about the rockets and stuff like that on Friday. And I hope everybody has a good day. Give us a thumbs up. And, hope you all take care. Ring the little bell. So when we do put up some videos that you'll see them come up and what we post and everything. I did post some pictures of the moon up yesterday on the site and other places. So have a great day. Enjoy your Thursday and take care. Happy Scrumming. Bye, everyone. Have a good day.